So, good evening, first of all. Hope you guys are having a good week, and I know I've been really busy. I got my fan going in the back. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. My apartment is very, very hot. Like, they have the heat on blast. I mean, I'm not complaining completely, but at the same time, I am a little bit because it's just a little bit too hot. But anyway, so that's the noise in the back. If you hear it. What I wanted to talk about is a quote that came from the last episode of Insecure. But before I get into that, I've been really busy. It's the finishing up the semester. Tomorrow's my last final / presentation, and I'm going to submit my paper too. And then I'll be done for the semester. Thank God. This has been a really rough semester for me. It's just been mad work to do. Plus work, plus just life in general. So I'm very much glad to be wrapping up and having time off before the spring semester, which is the last semester. Thank God. I'm so happy. Sent in my graduation papers or whatever. And yeah, it's happening. So I'm excited for that. And I got a new job, so I'm very excited for that. I'm about to start the new year exactly how I wanted. I manifested. I feel like I talked about this, mentioned it slightly the last couple episodes maybe, how I have been manifesting, how I always manifest by, obviously speaking it out loud to the universe and writing it down, and how I use sticky notes on my wall. And I'm trying to see, what did I write? So I had school for May, which is on track. I said I was going to get a new job in March, and look at that. Like, I already got the new job down December because I put in mad work to get there. And I have other stuff on there too that I want to do, but my point is, like, just keep manifesting and working hard to get what you want, and just practicing patience. I think I talked about that too. And the power of your words, like realizing the power of your words and honoring that, and being intentional with what you set for yourself and what you ask for and what you really want. And sometimes when you try to get what you want, and if you don't get it, don't get discouraged. Take it as a redirection, and maybe that you need to tweak a little bit of what you're asking for. I feel like that's what I learned with my job hunt to get to this job, because there was a job that I really thought I wanted, and when I didn't get it, I was really bummed. And then it's crazy, when I found out that I didn't get that job, I think the same day is when I got the email for an interview for the job that I just got now. And even with that job, I went through all last month, I was interviewing for the same job. And I was like, to the point where I was like, all right, this is crazy. I've never had to interview this long for a job and do all these things, but it was worth it because I got the salary that I asked for and the position that I'm looking for. So it's just all new. It's a new transition, and it's really dope, and I'm really excited. But at the same time, I'm a little nervous because it's something new, but more so just ready to step foot into it, So yeah, good times. Good. I'm really excited for what I'm doing, and more excited for the shmoney, yeah. So I'm really excited for that. It's my Christmas gift to myself. And so yeah, I want to get into the episode. First of all, Insecure is almost over. I sound congested. I don't know what happened. I just washed my hair, and all of a sudden I was congested. Maybe I was in the hot shower too long. I don't know. But anyway, I want to talk about the episode Insecure. I don't know if people have been keeping up with it, but it's almost over. Oh, I think the next episode is the last one, or maybe close to it. Well, people have been complaining that it's not moving as best as we thought it would, considering it's the last episode. But I feel like, I don't know. I'm enjoying the season, but at the same time, I do understand where they're coming from. Like, not much has really happened, but anyway, there was a conversation that was had between Molly and Issa, and it was basically Issa feeling a certain type of way about a decision regarding work and making a decision for herself, and basically I'm losing my train of thought. I don't know why. Okay, so Issa called Molly for some advice, and I'm gonna read to you what Molly said, and kind of go from there so you can understand. So this is what Molly said in response to Issa. She said, "What if there's no wrong answer? Things are never all or nothing. Either way you go, you end up great or not, or somewhere in the middle. I know it's never easy to make these kind of choices, but you'll be so glad once you do. You just gotta go with your gut. Every decision you make, just own it. And if you're being honest with yourself, you kind of already know what you want to do. So just do that shit." And I really like that, because it's true. 555. It's really true. Like, there is no, technically, I believe, no real wrong answer. And I feel like that's something I've been saying on this podcast for a while. It's like, life is a series of choices, and like, I feel like no matter what choices that you make, you're always going to be guided to where you need to be eventually. So, either way you go, you're going to end up where you need to be and doing your best. And it's not easy to make choices, but you always have to trust your gut and go with it. And sometimes it's hard to go with our gut because it's not always easy to go with your gut, because I feel a lot of the times when I'm going with my gut, it's the choice that maybe a lot of people wouldn't necessarily go with or support or understand. So that's where it can bring you to question, like, all right, am I making the right choice or not? Like, what if I'm screwing myself, But you have to, like she said, be honest with yourself, and you already kind of know what you want to do anyway. That's why there was the podcast that I have told you guys about before, Black Girl Experience. One episode, she was saying how there's really no need for us to ask people's opinion on stuff in regards to like a choice that we have to make. Like, I feel like I'm trying to think of a choice that you would have to make, but all right, if it's like, oh, should I take this person back or something, right? Like, you can ask other people's opinion of that, but at the end of the day, there's a couple of things that come into play. For one, at the end of the day, it's only going to impact you and the person, so you have to do what works for you. For two, I feel like usually when you ask that question, it's because you want someone to validate the answer that your ego wants, but you know that your soul is telling you the actual answer. If that makes any sense. Like, all right, so say, I'll just use myself, for example. This has not happened, but I'm just putting myself in a scenario that I had my ex-boyfriend or something, and now he comes back, he wants to get back with me, and it's like, my ego is saying yes, because maybe I still have some type of feelings for that person, but my soul is telling me no, because even if you do have those feelings for that person, you've grown as a woman, so you're not compatible. And I feel like my soul will also be telling me that if that person was supposed to be here with me, then they would have been here throughout the whole thing. So sometimes it could be you're looking at it as a test of your growth, right? So say I have those two conflicting answers to myself. So then I'm like, all right, I don't make a decision for myself. Instead, I sit there and ask my friends, or I ask my brother, or ask my mom, and I'm getting all these mixed answers and these mixed reviews, and that's just gonna make it messes with your gut, because now you're like, anxious a little bit, or you're like, oh, I don't know I don't know what to do, when before I knew what I wanted to do. You have to go with what the first thing comes to you, like that's your intuition, that's your gut telling you. If your gut said, hell no, like we don't even want him anymore, then you have to go with that. And I think that that's similar to what she was trying to say. It's like, just do what works for you. I feel like I say that a lot too. It's like, even if you're going to look crazy to your family and friends or whoever, as if it works for you, then do it. And it's not easy, especially as we get older and living, like being Black. And like a lot of the times in Black families, it's very, even though I feel like a lot of times people don't want to admit, there can be a lot of traditional and old mindsets. And so when you have people of a younger generation, like people of my age and a little bit younger, that do things out of the ordinary, quote unquote, it's always kind of looked at like, oh, I don't know. Some people go as far as like, oh, that's, I wouldn't say devil's work, but you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, oh, you're stepping outside of the box and you're not doing how we've done it for years. It's like, yeah, Mama Jean, I'm not doing it how you've done it for years. You know why? Because you're in misery. Like, I'm not going to sit here and do the same thing that you do while you sit here miserable. You want me to be miserable too? Like, nah, I'm not doing that. Like, so I don't have a Mama Jean. I'm just using that name. But like, my point is like, sometimes it's better to just go and do things that work for you, and there is no wrong answer, because everyone's answer is different according to their path and their not passion, their purpose and their life. What an answer that works for me might not work for you. Hey, you know what? Marriage might work for this person, but that's definitely not what works for me, because I like A, B, and C, or what? Maybe I don't want to get married, but maybe I want to have kids and just be in a relationship. That can work for me, and it might not work for the next person. The important part is to like stay in your lane and do what works for you and not worry about what someone else is doing. And I guess my point with that is like, every decision that you make, own it. And I really support that, because a lot of people just don't do that. Like, you gotta own your stuff. Like, any decision that you make, there's always some form of a consequence with it. So own it. And that is a part of maturity and growth. And I feel like that's a lot of that. I was listening to a podcast today that maybe you guys might like it. It's called Row Crew. Yeah, ROKREW. And it's a Black cast, I guess you would say. I don't know what you'd call them, but they're Black people, and it's a couple. But they've had this series going on for the past 3 episodes about men and about women, and then just one episode was about all women, one was episode about men, and then the third episode was a combination. But they had guests on there, men and women, who discussed things about dating and how women are viewed and how men are viewed and how their mindsets and what comes into play with certain decisions and why things happen the way they do. And what the theme kind of was, it was just like accountability, and how sometimes men feel like women don't hold themselves accountable, and then also vice versa. Like, some women think that men don't hold themselves accountable, and I agree with both sides. I think that people in general need to hold themselves accountable, and you need to own what you do and what own yourself. Like, I'm very much an advocate. Like, I don't have necessarily a problem asking for help, but I do very much believe that as you get older, you have to be able to hold yourself accountable. You have to be able to make decisions for yourself and not depend on other people, in the sense of like, certain age, like there's certain patterns and habits that you just shouldn't do anymore. And I feel like that's a part of being accountable, because if you take the time to reflect, like, all right, I keep ending up in the same situation, or I keep ending up needing the same type of thing, then maybe you need to take a step back and evaluate what the way that you operate in life. Why you keep coming to the same conclusion or coming in the same situations? You know what I mean? I hope that makes any sense. But just being honest with yourself. And some believe me, like being honest with yourself is not easy, because then you have to take accountability, and you have to like recognize that, damn, like I do make a lot of dumb decisions, or I tend to keep getting in these situations because I'm impulsive, or because I don't money manage correctly, or because I don't surround myself with people that are good for me, or I don't advocate for myself, or I am not lazy, but I procrastinate a lot. It's like certain things that, everybody has their qualities that are not necessarily that great. But being honest with yourself, and it doesn't mean that you're going to just like, deprive yourself and completely change who you are, but recognize the things that you do and how they impact your life, and make better choices, and own what you do, and then just have the conscious effort to do better. I guess that's my point. And always own your shit, like in any aspect, good or bad. Like if you want to make a decision to up and move, and then own it. If you want to, I don't know, whatever, but anything that you do, just own it and stand on it, and go with your gut. And usually if you go with your gut, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna get what you want. And what I also wanted to say with that is, like, similar to that is manifesting. Like, if you're going to manifest something for yourself, own it and don't question it. Don't go back and evaluate, or, do you think that would actually happen? Like, no, just own it and just wait for it to come about. Obviously, still do the work in the meantime, but just believe that it's coming. You just don't know when it's coming, but just own it in the sense of that it's yours, and that if it's really for you, then you will get it. I feel like that's really what Molly was trying to tell her. It's like, I don't want to give away the episode if you haven't seen it, but she needed to make a decision about some things regarding her career, and I felt like Issa already knew what her answer was going to be and what it should be, but she felt, and I'm not saying that going to someone for advice or to like reflect on what you're doing is wrong. It's just, I feel like it's important to, before you go to anyone else, mom, dad, whoever, friends, cousins, whatever, just have a conversation with yourself, really write things down and think about everything and come to a solid conclusion. Like, I think it's important to kind of practice this. Like, all right, say just when you have a situation that comes about where you need to make a decision regarding your life in any aspect, like, for example, a job, like if there's between 2 jobs or something like that, I feel like it's important to write down the pros and cons of each situation. And also at the same time, as soon as you think about both of them, which one is more appealing to you? Which one do you feel is the right one? That's your gut decision. And take the time to own the decision that you came to a conclusion with, and allow yourself to like be happy with it and let it sink in. Then you can go to someone else, because I feel if you just go to someone else right away, like I said, you're letting someone else's opinion, someone else's emotions get into your head and get into your situation that is actually, at the end of the day, is not really going to impact them. It's still going to only impact you. So I feel like when you're more solid on your answer and what you want, then you're not looking for someone to make the decision for you. You're more so looking for someone to possibly highlight more pros or highlight some cons, or just support what you're doing, or you just might want to share the information, but as we grow older, I just think it's important to learn how to just do your own thing, do things that work for you, no matter who else's opinion is going to come about into it. It's important to learn how to make decisions for yourself, and to hold yourself accountable. Because, like I said, nobody's perfect. Everybody makes bad decisions. I make bad decisions every day. I'll claim it. Like, I don't care. But the good usually outweighs the bad. And if it doesn't, then it doesn't. It is what it is, But, I mean, I try to make a conscious effort to make good decisions. But my point is to just, like she said in the episode, to just go with your gut. And own that shit. And just do it. Just do it, because that's another thing. Like, I know for me, with having anxiety, sometimes if I'm being anxious already and then procrastinating something, it's easy for me to get into a stagnant energy of just like, all right, well, since I don't know what to do, or I have all these different things coming, different ways that I can think it can go, if I don't do anything, then that's better than doing something that's the wrong decision. And that's not a good thing to do either. So I feel like it's more important to just push yourself out of your comfort zone and just do it. And if it's the wrong decision, then all right, fine. At least you still have another option, right? If you went with plan A and it didn't work out, then go to plan B, or vice versa, or make another one. I don't know. Just keep making more decisions and trying to get to where you want to be. That's the whole point. But you can't get there if you don't move. You have to move. We're not meant to stand still and be stagnant. That's how, life just passes you by. And sometimes it's too late for certain things. Even though they try to say it's never too late, but sometimes it is too late for certain stuff. Especially when it involves other humans. Everybody doesn't operate the same. Everyone's emotions don't operate on the same timetable. And if you wait too long, you can miss out on your opportunity. So always follow your gut and just go for it. Take the time to obviously think, don't be necessarily fully impulsive, even though sometimes I could be like that too, a little bit impulsive. But as you get older, it's important to try to be less impulsive, be more strategic about the decisions that you make. And also, in the same time, when you're doing that, think about how it will not only impact you, but impact the future you, but also the people that are in your life, how it will impact them. And yeah, just try to make the right decision. I guess that's my point. And I forgot I should have made an episode, but I was tired on Sunday, which was 12/12, which was like a portal day for you to make manifestations. Like, I guess it's like a portal to say, hold on, let me see if I can look it up really quick. I guess it's like a day of manifestation that you could have, well, it's over now, so I don't know if it's really important for me to keep talking about it, but it was a portal day. Like, a lot of things could come about in your life that you've been asking for. If you use that day to really reflect and let things go that need to be let go, to make room for the things that you've been asking for. I think that's the general gist of it. So yes, Sunday the 18th, 19th, my bad. We'll be doing the live. I'm not gonna lie, this is my first one, so I've never done a live, only one time with my sister. But I was on her podcast, so I don't even know. So I haven't really thought about how I'm gonna do it, to be honest. If I'm gonna do it on my phone or on my laptop. I think I could do it on my laptop. I gotta take the time to like really play with it for a little bit. I don't necessarily have a specific topic that I'm gonna talk about. I'm kind of just gonna get on there. If people join and want to ask me questions, then I'll just answer your questions. It could be about whatever. Yeah, unless I have something that like comes to mind that I want to talk about. More so it's just a way for people to talk to me face to face, sort of, and ask me whatever, ask me about the podcast. Well, I was about to restrict, but I don't want to restrict, but I am kind of restricting. Like, don't ask me like, what are you gonna do for the next season? Like, bro, I don't know. I don't know. I haven't thought that far. I'm gonna wing it like I always do. Like, that's just, it is what it is. But yeah, I want to interact with you guys and try to get more so like looking for feedback about things that you want to hear me talk about. I know that people, I like your episodes and stuff. Yeah, I like it too, but I could use a little maybe not guidance, but little information as far as like what people like what do you like, what topics do you like, which ones would you like me to expand on more. It's all about growth, and definitely can tap into some new topics. I would have no problem doing that. I'm definitely going to try to do more interviews. It's just this semester, like I said, it's been hectic. I feel like definitely once I'm done with school, it's going to be so much. I have more time to dedicate to the podcast. It's just, it's not been easy. So I appreciate, you guys still listening and bearing with me on my schedule. And, rate the podcast. I feel like I never say that, and I should. If you can rate it on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or whatever, give it 5 stars. Not whatever, but you can rate it. You can comment, I believe, on Spotify. And yes, like I said, I'll do the live this Sunday, the 19th. What time did I say? 8 o'clock? Hold on. I think I said 8 o'clock. On Black Hippie Lounge Instagram. Hold on. Yes, at 8 o'clock. I'll get on live at Black Hippie Lounge on Instagram. And yeah, we can just talk about whatever, talk about random stuff. Well, not random. I hope it's mindful things. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, I need to figure out how to do it. Yeah. If it's going to be on the computer or on the, what's it called? My phone. I doubt I'll do it on my phone because I want to be on my phone at the same time. So I'll more than likely just figure it out on the laptop. But anyways, hope you guys have a great rest of your week. I hope this message resonated. Like I said, if you can, rate the podcast, review it, whatever you want to do on there. Hit me up on Instagram. I have a Twitter. I just do not use it. I'm so sorry. I don't have Facebook. And yes, meditate, manifest, invest in you. And I will talk to you guys on Sunday on live. And I'll try to promote it on my stories on Instagram so people don't forget. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So hope you have a great week. Good night.
Meditate, manifest, invest in you. Join me on my spiritual journey as I elevate myself and like-minded listeners to a higher level, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thank you for listening. This is Black Hippie Lounge, and I am your host, Chanel.